Blood in the street, Greg. We were talking about this,
but
again,
you know,
these are
funny. Those headlines, man, like the mental health thing and the whatever. That's all the time.
Yes.
That's every day. That's every day, everywhere in the world. Like, you know, but people will read that and be like, oh my God, it's all because of the housing market. People are losing their minds only because of that. It's ridiculous.
You're listening to the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast with your hosts, Paul Stevenson, David Warren, and Greg Campbell. Let's see what's going on in the world of real estate today.
Yes, we're back. It is the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast. Everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Paul Stevenson. I'm here with Greg Campbell. I'm here with David Warren. We're here mostly every week. And we like to talk about real estate, mortgages, and whatever else is on our minds. Lots on our minds today. We'll get into that in just 1 second. I am one of the very proud owners of Referral Mortgages, which is a mortgage brokerage based out of Ottawa, agents across Ontario. I'm also a mortgage agent myself. I'm joined with Greg Campbell. He's a managing partner and a realtor at the agency, Ottawa. The agency,
yes.
Ottawa. And David Warren is with us. He's my partner, also an owner at Referral Mortgages, a mortgage brokerage based out of Ottawa, agents across Ontario. And he's also a mortgage agent. And the show is brought to you by North Brew Coffee. If you go to northbrew.ca, use the promo code podcast, they're going to toss you a 20% discount off your coffee order. And don't forget, 20% of that order goes towards the Ottawa homeless community. Great coffee, great cause. And lastly, very quickly, the Ontario Mortgage Academy. The Ontario Mortgage Academy. They actually have a course coming up for all the mortgage agents listening. Underwriting Like a Wizard. Greg loves the title. Underwriting Like a Wizard. If you use the promo code TOREP, T-O-R-E-P, the number 15 and O-M-A, TOREP 15 O-M-A, they're going to give you 15% off your course. Check that out on OntarioMortgageAcademy.com. Gentlemen, long intro today. How are we doing? Long week, long intro.
Good. We're good, Paul. We're very good. Very well. Ready to go, ready to dive, ready to deep dive into this business of Ottawa and what people are reading in the headlines and this tragedy of real estate in Canada.
One pandemic to the next. Now we have
Everyone naked in the streets with no shelter, no clothing because of our economy, right? That's where we're headed. I don't think so. Okay. So I'm going to get right into some numbers. So we did a brief overview last week of the market and I'm not going to do that again. And I also know that that's changed drastically since last week. So what I'm going to do today is a little deep dive into Barrhaven, Riverside South, for those of you in those areas, or, this is just a good, it's good knowledge for the city to see what's going on, because this is important stuff here. So in the last week, in the last 7 days, in Barrhaven, there have been, sorry, I thought I had that page there. There have been only 9 sales of detached homes. Okay. The average price, although a bit skewed by a big one, I will say that is just over $1 million. Well, $1,100,000. Average days on market is 11. That's what happened in the last week. So that's pretty big numbers. Conditional sales right now, there's currently 4 conditionally sold. The average price is $760,000 at 11 days on market. But there are 87 detached homes for sale. And now that's not all in the last week, but that's what's currently active. So, and that's an average of 25 days on market. So now you can see what we've been talking about for the last little while is just really starting to show its face right now. Those numbers are changing every week. More days on market. Prices are still similar, but they're dropping a bit with all these new listings coming out. And now we have it in townhomes and semi-detached. We have an average sale price, 19 sold. We have an average sale price of $656,000 with an average of 16 days on market. Okay, so that's coming up again. We have one conditional sale that was on the market for 11 days. And we currently have 66 townhomes for sale in Barrhaven, Riverside South, with an average of 21 days on the market. And the average list price is $700,000. So that is big to me because that average list price is down from what it was. Big time. I'll get into the last one here. Condos, apartments, or stacked towns in Barrhaven, Riverside South. One sold in the last week on the market for 15 days. And that was a stacked town listed at 500,000, sold for 460,000. So now those started selling in the 450s, last summer, maybe last fall, I guess. And they went up into the fives, and now this one's back 460. So that's interesting to see. Kind of falls in line with what I was saying last week about pricing your property. You might want to look at the prices from last fall to price your property accurately in the market this June. And the average listings, 19 days on market for the current listings of stacked towns and apartments in Barrhaven, Riverside South. So again, like Torep's been talking about, everyone. Torep, we spread the word. We spread the word. You listen to us. If you don't listen to us, you always come back and you're like, you know what? Torep said that. Torep has the information. And that was that, we're creeping up on 20 days on market is around the corner, 30 days guaranteed. And I said, I predicted 30 days by the end of summer. I think that might come sooner. So, because I think when summer comes around, people are fed up and they're going to be like, peace. I'm on vacation.
So to summarize, Greg, you said in Barrhaven, Riverside South, in detached homes, 9 sold, 80 listings, town semis, 19 sold, 66 listings, condos, 1 sold. I didn't catch how many listed, but
19 listings, 19 listings.
So you've got a multiple of 8, just almost 9 on detached, of 6 on, or 3 rather, on towns, of like multiples of sold to listings. So you've got 9 times the amount of sold per week right now. Really, like at that, would you not say that you really need to be, if you're a seller or if you're an agent, that you really, really need to be cognizant of how many are out there? We talked about,
yes.
You and I talked about it last week about the marketing aspect and being aggressive on that side. But what do you, for those realtors, like I know you just said, look back to last year's pricing almost. But at 9 times the amount of listings to solds, like you really have to be aggressive on your pricing and aggressive on your marketing strategy.
And so, that's a good question, Dave. I meant to mention this and I forgot. So I'm glad that you followed up and asked me what I wanted to say. So the average list to sales price ratio right now is sitting right around 100%. So they're not going for what they were. And this is another thing that we predicted on Torep, that this was coming up probably around this time. And yes, the ones that have sold, most of the ones that have sold close to list price were on the market for a short amount of time and they were presented very well. The ones that sold that took longer to sell, all sold for under list price. Not too far under list price, but they sold for at least, like maybe 10 to 25,000 under list price. So, and I didn't go super deep on some of these. Some of those may have been price reductions already to begin with, because that's something that we're seeing a lot more of, is price reductions.
I mean, it certainly does. I mean, it matters who you work with in this, in markets like we're entering, and territory that we're entering, where there is a lot of competition out there for listings. If you're selling your home, it really does matter. And knowing what their strategy is to get your property listed, and what they're investing even into that listing, whether that be staging, cleaning, getting your house ready, make sure it looks like superb. Because when you have that much competition, it makes such a big difference. You don't want it to sit for a lengthy period of time. Otherwise, you're going to be well under that list price, or getting nervous of whether you're going to sell in time for that closing.
You have to. And we're staging a vacant property right now because we know that it's going to be challenging. And that was one of the key factors for us getting this listing in Barrhaven, because they were like, you know what? The other people didn't offer to stage. They said the commission rate was the same. They didn't offer to stage, and you guys offered to stage. So it was like, even though I know the numbers for this property is kind of like, you know, it's close, I'm like, I'm all in full service, because that's how you're going to get the business. And that's what people want to work with now coming in. And that goes to my next point, saying that I also predict with these changes happening, that the full service realtors, even the ones that may do a discount at some point, because there's been a lot of that going on, because, you know, everyone's been like, oh, you guys are making money hand over fist, it's so easy. You know, and for a lot of people it has been, but, you know, the full service realtors like myself, we've always been of the mind, like, we've always provided the same type of service, but right now it's going to be more important than ever, if you're a seller, to be working with someone that's actually going to be, you know, doing the video, doing the promotion on Instagram and Facebook, like Google AdWords, whatever, having the website that gives access to it. Maybe, you know, supplying virtual open houses as well as an open house every Sunday until it's sold, like all this stuff, and have the team behind you to make sure that your property is being reported and that they're getting updates every week showing the numbers of exactly where it's going. And people are going to want to pay that full commission of what it used to be. You know, the traditional 5% in Ottawa is what used to be traditional. It's changed over the past few years. A lot of agents still do charge that for the full service. And now I think more than ever, it's going to come back. And a lot of the brokerages that don't do that and haven't really had to, because of the fact that things have been selling so quickly, I think that they're going to have to change their model slightly. They're either going to have to offer bigger incentives, or they're going to have to switch to more full service, instead of just doing the old, you know, we'll drop our commission rate and put pictures on and put your sign on your listing on MLS, and that's it. Because they're going to know that that's not the way to sell. You know, it's going to go back to a more traditional style, I think. You know?
And for the buyers that are listening as well, though, this is, I mean, you look at those stats of how many listings there are. I mean, if you've been sitting on the sidelines, I mean, I know there's a lot of headline grabbers about rates or kind of fear mongering about that, if you will. And yes, rates are coming up. However, it's a fantastic time to buy, though. You have options. Like you can go out, you're not being pressured into a purchase. You can take your time. You know, we talked about before, being able to go see it once, go to the open house, see it again. You know, it's not holding offers every single time where you're in bidding wars. You know, you can put an offer with conditions in on it, go see it with family, go with your, you know, get a home inspection, like actually do your due diligence. Like, so it is a really good time. So, you know, certainly don't let the headlines of rates coming up or anything like that of, you know, scaring you away. You know, look at the long term.
Yeah. And I think that's what people have to do. They have to just, again, it comes down, if you're ready to buy. I mean, everybody that I've been working with, like I said, they've been waiting for a while, but I'm getting some more activity lately, because they're starting to realize now that there is a lot more, there's many more options out there. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, it's nice to see. And like you said, the headlines are a little bit out of hand. I know we're going to get into some of these, but I think you have a pretty good perspective, Dave, on what people should be paying attention to in terms of rates and price changes in the mortgage payments.
Yeah. We might as well, I think we might as well touch on that first article, I guess. Okay. You know, I don't know if you want to pop it up here, Stephen. I think, which one's this?
Best thumbnail.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a great photo of the guy, or a great shot of the guy.
Is that Edward Snowden?
I don't know.
He's in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Paul, maybe you want to get in, maybe you want to kind of talk on this.
Sure. Yeah. So this was an article that was on Apple News. Essentially, they were saying that this was a survey done by Manulife, and they were saying that nearly 1 in 4 homeowners would have to sell if interest rates continued to rise. And I actually saw this in a few different places. I think Bloomberg also had an article this morning talking about this. But it's with the raising rate environment, and we've been talking about this for the last few weeks. Just saying that as rates continue to increase, regardless of what type of mortgage you have, unless it's a fixed rate, if you're in any sort of variable rate mortgage, your payment is going to increase. And I know, Dave, you had a couple breakdowns of what that looks like, and what that means for Canadian homeowners. But essentially, most people in in Canada. I think the number was about $200 last we checked. So, people said if their monthly obligations went up $200, that they'd be in financial hardship, or at least, underwater per se. And so with the rates increasing the way they did recently on June 1st, I think you said it was about $50 per 100,000. So, if someone has a $500,000 mortgage, they're now
25 for every 100,000.
25 for every 100,000. And with rates expected to go up again in a month, or less than a month's time, they're saying even, anywhere from 50, again, talking about headlines, Greg, anywhere from 50 to 75 basis points. I heard today that they want to get the overnight rate up to 3% from where it is now, which is 1.5%. So that would be, essentially doubling again the overnight lending rate for prime. So, we'll see where rates go. But I know, Dave, you had a really good graph of what that payments actually look like.
Yeah, if you can bring that up. There we go, Stephen. So what this is really looking at is the comparison of variable versus fixed. So this is as if your payments are on just variable rate at what the bank prime is, no discount to prime. So when you get a variable rate mortgage, it's usually prime minus a certain percentage point. This is looking at just exactly what the bank prime is. So the change between that we saw in the June 1st announcement, going from a bank prime rate of 2.2 to 2.7. If your mortgage balance is 200,000, it changed your payments by $50. Most people, obviously, for sure in Ottawa, you're not as, your mortgage balance is a little bit higher. But let's call it, let's say maybe it's a $400,000 balance. Your payments are changing by $100 with that increase in prime by 0.5%. I will say, I absolutely get my inbox flooded when there is any sort of talk about rate change or bank prime. This is really kind of illustrating that, to put into context what that change looks like. This is, again, these payments are based on just bank prime, not what you're true. You might be at prime minus 0.9. Like, I have clients reaching out that are prime minus 1.25%, asking what they should do. And to compare that, they'd be locking in at a fixed rate, which would be in the 4.5 and even higher rate range right now, where you'd be going from immediately making a conscious decision to go from, let's say, a payment on a $200,000 mortgage of $916 to $1,106. So you're changing you're making that conscious decision to change your payments by $240 from the outset. All of that just going to the bank for interest. So, this is really to kind of put into context when, people, those of you that have variable and you're debating whether to lock in, or the headlines come up. And even as Paul mentioned, them saying that, yeah, they're going to increase likely another 1.5% or double bank prime. Keep that in mind of how much your payments actually do change over that period, but also what the benefits are. You're limited on your penalty to 3 months interest only if you were to break, and 66% of Canadians break. When fixed rates come down, because it is cyclical, fixed rates go up and they come down. It's, we're building up. You want to talk about lots of news about hitting a recession, but we go up, something happens in the marketplace, rates come back down. So maybe get into a variable or stay in. And if you're debating whether to convert to a fixed, just wait it out just for when the fixed rates come back down. But yeah, I just wanted to provide some visual context. And those of you that are just listening, certainly go to the YouTube page and you can see that image.
All the experts I've spoken to, at least that are kind of on the planning side of things, or advisors financially, they've all expect same thing as us, kind of that 12 to 18 month cycle before we start to see rates come down a bit. So we'll probably see rates, fixed rates as well, continue to rise till probably next summer, and then likely next fall is when we'll see things kind of balance out, fall 2023. And it'll be interesting to hear, we listen to some of the old episodes talking about our predictions. So we'll see if this comes to fruition or not. But, probably next summer to next fall is when we'll see things kind of balance out and likely start to dip again. So anyone who's renewing in kind of, 2.5 years kind of hit the bullseye as far as getting a low rate when it launched, and then hopefully getting the low rates on the way down again. I just wanted to touch. I found the article there. I wasn't able to open it when we first started talking about it, but it says nearly 1 in 4 homeowners say they will have to sell their home if interest rates go up any further, according to a new debt survey from Manulife Bank. The survey conducted between April 14th and 20th found that 18% of homeowners polled are already at a stage where they can't afford their homes. So 1 in 5 people. Over 1 in 5 Canadians expect rising interest rates to have a significant negative impact on their overall mortgage, debt, and financial situation. It says the Bank of Canada remains on a rate hike path as it tries to tame inflation, which is now at a 31-year high at 6.8%. On June 1st, the central bank increased its key rate to 1.5%. We know that. Additionally, close to half of indebted Canadians say debt is impacting their mental health. And almost 50% of Canadians say they would struggle to handle surprise expenses. Blood in the street, Greg. We were talking about this. But again, these are
funny. Those headlines, man, like the mental health thing and the whatever, that's all the time.
Yes.
That's every day. That's every day, everywhere in the world. Like, but people will read that and be like, oh my God, it's all because of the housing market. People are losing their minds only because of that. It's ridiculous. It's like last year when the prices were up, like I'm sure there's other mental health shit going on in people's lives. People losing and with, people talking about people already over leveraged on their house. It's like, well, how did they get the house in the first place? Like, what's the story there? Like, what's the backstory? That's such a vague statement. Like, why are they afraid of, like, why are they going to lose their home? Like, is that just based on bad real estate, like a realtor and a mortgage and a lender? Like, how is that?
I mean, I think that's when everyone did qualify for their mortgage. They were qualifying at a stress test at a 5.25. What's coming into play is not just their mortgage payments coming up. It's really encapsulating that inflation that we talked about. Like, if you looked at, I was at the grocery store yesterday and it was, it's ridiculous how much food is. And that, I think that's the big, shelter and food are the two biggest expenses of people's lives. And when those are coming up, it really impacts everything. So,
and gas.
Yeah. So I think it'll be, I think it's just kind of in combination with everything. Cause when you qualify for a mortgage, even right now you're qualifying, I quoted that 4.5% for a fixed rate right now. You're qualifying at 6.5 as if that's what your payment is. So to your point, Greg, people were, and the bank qualifying that higher. I think, what's eating up that affordability is just the other. And
I guess I should have elaborated on that. My comment was basically that article should also read what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
They're making it sound like people can't afford their home because of the lender, the realtor, or the prices, just the mortgage. When it's encompasses so much more. Like these, anyways.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, their overall expenses have doubled or tripled in the last year. Not just the mortgage payment has gone up slightly, but also their gas is double now. It went from $1.30 to in some cases like $2.30 a liter. A small package of blueberries is $6. 3 romaine lettuce, you're paying $7 unless you go to Costco. Recent Costco member, by the way. Very happy about it. Love it. Ice cream's as good as I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true. No. And the thing is, like, historically, as a species, when things are better, we buy more shit. So that happens. Like, rates are low, like, their cars are cheaper, food is well priced. Like, everybody just starts spending more money. They don't take care of their investment or they're over leveraged. And then of course, when things all of a sudden clamp down, they're not prepared for it. And I mean, I'm a victim. Like, I do that sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like, you get excited. You want to have things maybe. And then all of a sudden you can't, and then you're looking to blame somebody instead of figuring a way out of it. So I know, Dave, we were talking about it last week. It's like, if you're feeling a pinch, talk to your professionals.
Yeah.
Today.
And I was just thinking too, when you're talking about the full service brokerages, Greg, I was thinking about, like, on our side too, like we're such an advice based industry on the mortgage side. I always tell agents, like, there's two different types of agents. There's agents that sell mortgages, and then there's other agents that give mortgage advice, and it's two different sides of the coin. Some agents will just give you any solution to try to, get that commission, and others will actually take the time to figure out, like, what are your goals? What's your financial picture? What is the best solution for you specifically? And that takes a lot more time to actually take that deep dive and sit down with your clients, understand their goals. Same thing on the realtor side. Like you might have a realtor that just, like you said, like a discount brokerage where they're just putting the sign in the lawn, they throw your pictures up on MLS and that's it. And, good luck. It's the same thing on the mortgage side. Someone might just do a pre-approval, throw you with the first lender, just pick the rate for you, not even have a conversation. And then 3 years down the road, you have to sell and you're getting a $20,000 penalty and you have no idea why. So there's different advice on either side. And, we Dave and I do a seminar. We say, not all penalties are created equal, but also not all advisors are created equal. Not all realtors are created equal. You want to take it's more important now than ever to work with someone who is experienced and has the knowledge to properly give you the advice that you need, as opposed to just, working with your uncle's friend or, your part-time aunt who does one transaction a year. Nothing against Aunt Betty, but she might not be able to give you as sound advice as an experienced realtor is doing it day in and day out. I just threw Betty under the bus. I feel bad, but
no offense, Betty. No offense, Betty.
No offense to Betty.
It happens though, right? And it's like, if you're a seller and you're going to give, you have a relative or something that's in the business, you better make sure, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, but it's like, ask them who they are working with and what their support system is before you just jump in and think that they're going to do a great job because they're family. A lot of the time that doesn't work at all. As we know, it's about, you can be a new agent. If you have a great support system and mentorship behind you, you'll be amazing. And, and the sale will probably be much more pleasurable than someone who's just new to the business and, doesn't know anyone or have any support. And you're just helping them out because they're a friend. Right now, there's no helping friends as far as I'm concerned in this market. It's like, you need to work with the right people. Yeah. Or else you're going to just lose your mind.
No, I think all sage advice,
wizardry.
Well, should we roll into the mood boost?
I think we should. Yeah. I had another article, but I think it changes the whole dynamic. I think we've had a great chat, good info. And I think we all, after that depressing conversation, we need some boosting of our moods here on a Monday, Tuesday.
Not depressing, challenging
conversations. Yes. Sounds like Greg's been to therapy before, eh?
Wow.
These are challenges, not depression.
Challenges.
Yeah.
It's a little obstacle. Let's move through it.
So I have 4, maybe 5. I'm going to go with 4 because they're ones that I actually think are good. The last is iffy. So number 1, spring is here. I got so excited I wet my plants. Summertime, lots of fishing happening. What's the best way to watch a fishing tournament? Live stream. I
like that.
It's good. What did the yogi say when he was asked to leave the studio? Namaste. Namaste.
Winner gagnon.
And what do you call a knight who's afraid to fight? Surrender.
Oh, wow. Those are, from my perspective, that's 4 out of 4. Loved. I love all of those.
I don't think you should really give that 5th one and ruin it.
No, I agree. I'm going to hold up to the camera for the people that are watching so that they get a bonus. There you go.
That's pretty good too.
That one.
Good one, Steven. So great show. If you're still listening, thank you. And make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like, leave us a review. The reviews keep going up. So I think me saying this actually makes people just give us a review. Just tell us what you think. Next week, we have a guest next week. I know we've been talking about guests for weeks, and it's just been the 3 of us.
Yeah, I know. And
we'll
anyways,
see.
The cottage guys will be on. They'll not next week, but they're coming.
We'll see.
And I think Dave's got somebody. We'll see. We got guests, and we don't know, guys.
We'll let you know.
We'll find out.
It's us. It's Toe Rep. It's Paul, Dave, and Greg.
We'll be here.
Toe Rep.
Toe Rep 15 OMA. TOREP 15 OMA. Get 15% off underwriting like a wizard course with the Ontario Mortgage Academy. If you're a mortgage agent, do it. It starts next Monday to Friday, 1 to 4 p.m. very in-depth look into how to underwrite, and especially with the way the market is right now and different types of rates and different qualifying and different lenders, it's really important to understand that. So if you're an agent, hop on that, OntarioMortgageAcademy.com. Use the promo code TOREP15 OMA. You'll get 15% off the course. Also, shout out to North Brew Coffee, northbrew.ca. Use the promo code podcast and they'll give you 20% off your coffee. Shout out to the agency. Shout out to Referral Mortgages. All of our agents, our operations team. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week. Adios.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe because we'd really like that.